John Wick, excommunicado, in effect 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Tick-tock, Mr. Wick. Tick-tock. Tick-tock.
The film starts as John Wick and his still unnamed pit bull run through the streets of New York City. He has less than an hour left until he is officially declared excommunicado and has no hitman services rendered to him, along with the $14 million bounty on his head going into effect.
$14 million bounty on his head. Every interested party in the city will...
He gets into a cab and leaves the dog to be taken to the Continental to be left in the care of Charon by giving the cabbie a token.
See that he's received by the concierge.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wick.
John Wick, excommunicado, in effect 20 minutes.
John proceeded to the New York Public Library. After being directed by the librarian, he finds a book containing hidden marker coins and a crucifix necklace. A lone hitman, Ernest, comes in and tries to kill John, leading to them knocking each other around the bookshelves before John gets a heavy book and uses it to beat Ernest, dislocate his jaw, and finally snap his neck with it. John then travels to see the doctor to fix up his wounds, but he is unable to finish before the hour is up, and John's life is up for grabs. John finishes the stitching himself, but before he leaves, the doctor tells him to shoot him in the right areas to make it look like John forced him to help.
Where?
Here. Good luck, Mr. Wick.
Thanks, Doc.
He then starts to run through Chinatown, where he is found by a gang that chases after him. They end up in a warehouse, where they fight and then come across a bunch of knives, daggers, and other pointy weapons. Despite their efforts, John hurls knives at all the thugs before tossing an axe into the leader's head. John continues running and catches a horse, which he uses to kill some thugs by getting it to kick them in the face before he mounts it and rides it through the streets. Thugs on motorcycles try to catch him, but John takes care of them quickly. John arrives at a theater where he presents the crucifix for entry. It is the hideout of the Rusker Roma, an organization that appears to groom hitmen from a young age and where John may have learned what he knows. He meets with the director, a member of the high table who has known John since he was young. She refers to John as Jardani, as that is his real name, Jardani Jovanovic.
Jardani? Why have you come home?
He gives the director the crucifix necklace, which will allow him to travel outside of New York safely.
I still have my ticket.
The Continental is visited by the adjudicator, another high table member coming to settle things in the wake of John breaking the rules in the hotel. She meets with Winston and tells him that since he gave John a 1-hour head start before his contract went up, he has a week to step down as manager of the Continental.
I am here to adjudge you. You have 1 week to get your affairs in order.
There's an adjudicator here to see you.
Similarly, she visits the Bowery King and tells him to step down since he gave John sanctuary when Santino put the hit on his head.
You gave John Wick 7 bullets. The high table is giving you 7 days.
Welcome to Casablanca, Mr. Wick. Thanks.
John goes to Casablanca, where he is at first attacked by hitmen until one guard stops them since he knows why John is there.
Enough!
He is escorted to meet with an old friend, Sophia, who is accompanied by her 2 loyal and vicious German shepherds.
You a dog person, John?
Sophia?
He presents her with a marker with her blood on it, done when John helped protect Sophia's daughter and hit her. While she isn't keen to help John, she agrees to do so. He wants to locate the Elder, who ranks above even the high table themselves and can remove John's excommunicado status.
We leave in 10 minutes.
The adjudicator finds an assassin named Zero and entrusts him and his men to find John and kill him. He readily agrees to the task. The adjudicator and her men then pay a visit to the director. Because she helped John get out, the adjudicator has the director's associates killed while they force her to prove her fealty to the high table by running a blade through both her hands so that she may pay with blood.
We're not going in like the old days.
Sophia takes John to meet Barada so that he can give John the location to find the Elder in the desert, but John will only meet with him if the Elder chooses to find John himself. Barada then demands one of Sophia's dogs as repayment, but when she refuses to give the dog up, Barada shoots it.
And I will kill him.
It was wearing a bulletproof vest, but Sophia is pissed, so she and John proceed to shoot up Barada's people while the hounds start chomping on groins, including Barada's. Sophia then shoots Barada in the leg before she and John take one of his cars.
You made your point. You have earned my fealty.
The adjudicator visits the Bowery King again, and he says he has no intentions of stepping down. As punishment, the adjudicator has Zero/Bowery King 7 times. Sophia drives John out to the desert, but since her end of the bargain is fulfilled, she leaves him there. He walks through the desert until he passes out, at which point he is found by the Elder. He knows why John is there, and it isn't until John says he wants to stay alive to keep Helen's memory alive that he becomes interested in helping. John pledges his fealty to the Elder by severing his left ring finger and giving his wedding ring as payment. The Elder tells John he will lift his excommunicado status if he kills Winston. John agrees.
The first of which will be the man they called Winston.
I will, sir.
John returns to New York and is spotted in Grand Central Station by would-be assassins, though they are killed off fast by Zero's men as they want to save John for Zero to kill him. He fights and kills Zero's men, even getting chased by them on motorcycles through a bridge, but John evades their guns and katanas before killing them. Zero almost catches up to John and nearly gets him until they reach the Continental.
Sir, put your weapon down.
And John is officially on the hotel grounds and can't be touched. Inside, Zero admits he is a huge fan of John's and that it would be the ultimate honor to kill him.
I'm a huge fan. John Wick.
John goes up to meet with Winston. He knows that John has been ordered to kill him on behalf of the High Table. However, Winston offers him a choice. John can go ahead and kill him, living his life as a killer, or he can live as a man the way Helen would have wanted. The adjudicator then arrives to find both men. Winston refuses to step down, and John refuses to kill him.
Have you decided to step down?
Not.
And you? Will you be putting a bullet in his head?
No.
She then makes a call to declare the Continental deconsecrated, meaning killing will now be allowed in the hotel. Winston opens his stash of weapons to John and Sharon while he stays in his safe room with John's pit bull. John and Sharon proceed to kill some high-table assassins, but they are wearing strong Kevlar armor, so Winston supplies the men with armor-piercing rounds.
12-gauge steel slugs. Armor piercing.
Heads get blown up, and bodies are riddled with bullets. After all the other assassins are killed, John is left to fight Zero and his men. The goons toss John through a bunch of glass cases until he manages to gain the upper hand and take them out, leaving only Zero alive. The two engage in a fierce duel, but John ultimately overpowers Zero and runs his own sword through his body. Zero still thinks it's an honor to be killed by John.
Hey, John. That was a pretty good fight, huh?
Yeah.
You gentlemen, of course, realize that was the first wave.
As the morning comes, the adjudicator offers to parley with Winston. They meet on the roof of the hotel, where she offers to let Winston stay at the Continental, but John must be dealt with.
You were merely showing strength, so we would let you keep the Continental. What are we going to do about John Wick?
Winston then appears to betray John by shooting him multiple times, sending him falling off the roof to the ground below. The adjudicator reconsecrates the hotel and starts to leave, but she goes around by the alley where John fell and notices he is gone. She informs Winston, and they realize John is still a problem.
Mr. Wick is gone.
John is picked up by TikTok Man, who brings him to Bowery King in his lair. He sees how messed up John is, and he tells him that he is pissed at the High Table. He asks John if he's pissed too, and John says he is.
I am really pissed off. Yeah.